Broadcast is live. All right, come on in. Speak to me as you come in. We got some real talk tonight. Speak to me as you come in. What up, though? What up, though? What up? Let me know. Evening. That's my Periscope church is here. What up? Tell me where you're logging in from. If you're in Chicago, just say Chicago. What's going on? Speak to me. New Jersey's in the building. What up, though? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? 4 a.m. prayer was amazing this morning. You missed it, poor thing. All right, Maryland. All right, Washington. All right, Houston, Jacksonville, Chicago, Louisiana. What's going on? What's going on? What up? Plainfield. I'm praying for you out there. They're not there, but cornfields. All right, speak to me as you come in. For those of y'all that know how to share, can I get you to share? Can I get you to share? All right. We are out here tonight. Let's go. Speak to me as you come in. All right. What up, Detroit? What up, Detroit? What's up, Virginia? There you go. You guys are coming on in. Quite a few of you all. Can I get those on Facebook? Can I get you to share? Can I get those of y'all that are on Periscope? Can I get you to share? We're going to have some honest conversation tonight, and I want you to be prepared to hear and to pay close attention. All right? Can I get as many of you all to share that are on Facebook? We're almost at 1,000 on Facebook. So we have Instagram, Facebook, Periscope, and YouTube all up. What up? Speak to me as you come in. All right. Hopefully I've gotten as many of you all that would register for the Leaders Conference coming up. It'll be on the 20th and the 21st. All you have to do to go to pastorsOneconference.com and you can register. Go to pastorsOneconference.com. It is not just for pastors. It is for leaders. You saw the lineup. We got Bishop Jakes. We have Darius Daniels. What up? Speak to me, YouTube. We have Jamal Bryant. Charles Johnson is amazing. And Pastor Hilliard. All right. Come on in. All right. So yesterday, I came up live and I did not hold the conversation. I deleted it when I finished. A lot was going on in our city. And I am the first to admit that at one point, my ear was to the ground. I knew everything that was going on with teenagers as a youth leader and as a juvenile probation officer. The game has changed. The game has changed. And I need not act like I know everything, but my heart is still with the game. My heart is still with the game. And so what I wanted to do, last night we talked about what's really going on, but I wanted to bring some men in who are literally working with this generation. I wanted to bring some people in who are in the game, and I wanted us to talk to them. I wanted us to find out what's really going on, and then I want you to hear what they are doing. I never want you to think that no one's doing anything. That's not true. That is not true. Just because you don't know about it does not mean that it is not happening. And some of y'all, it's not that you're to start something. You just need to find who you can connect with. Who you can connect with. So I am going to begin to introduce you all to people who are on the battlefield. And one of the young men that is on the battlefield, you see him on my screen right now. It is Vondale. That is not a normal name that you hear in the hood. But his name is Vondale Singleton. How are you, sir?
I'm blessed, man. Thank you for having me on, Pastor. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I am good. Vondale, are you born and raised in Chicago?
Yes, born in the Bronzeville community. Yep. Out of B. Wells Housing Project, third generation and project kid.
Come on here. I represent Oblahoma, 1242 yep. West 13th Street.
Yep, 514 East 36th Street. Yes, sir.
All right. So you're born and raised in Chicago. And then you got out for a while. You went to college.
Yes, sir.
And where did you go to college?
I went to Oral Roberts University in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
All right. So we have another person. We're going to bring him on in. Bring him on in. We
Hey,
out here now.
hey, Vondell, how's everybody doing tonight?
What's up?
Joseph, you good?
Of course, the work doesn't stop. Sorry for my tardiness. I'm out here on 63rd and Loomis right now, just actually diffusing a situation between community and activists. It was just about to be a huge standoff, and we just had some success. So they just went about their way, and community is going their way, and that's what we got going on right now. So I'm just wrapping that up. So you kind of catching me in the car.
He's a firefighter. I'm just going to put it like that. Joseph is our modern day firefighter. And I was going to let Vondell introduce himself, and then Joseph going to talk about you. So you left Chicago for a while, Vondell, and you went where?
I went to Oral Roberts University in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Came back, taught, went back, got my master's degree from Oral Roberts, and worked there full time at the university for 5 years.
And born and raised in Chicago. And you have a program in the city called what?
It's called CHAMPS. CHAMPS stands for Culturally Helping and Making Positive Success. And we believe that every young man is born to win. Doesn't matter if you're from a one-parent home, two-parent home, you're black, white, rich, poor, Protestant, Catholic. Our goal is to walk with you in life to provide close-up social emotional learning, mentorship, and leadership development.
All right. Joseph, you from the hood? You from Chicago?
Absolutely. My name is Joseph Williams. I am a husband, a father to 5 beautiful children, and I'm also the
You got
founder
a
of
handful.
5. It took 4 girls before I got that boy.
Bless him, Lord.
But honestly, so I started a nonprofit called the Mr. Dad's Fathers Club, and the ultimate goal of starting that nonprofit was to help get fathers actively involved in their children's lives. So we started reading books to children at CPS schools, mentoring our youth, and just trying to get active and get involved, and just understanding how much of a difference it makes to have that male model and to have that male guidance there in your life. Something that our communities are missing, and I encourage our communities to the men to step up and to bring families back together. And that's kind of my script for like what I'm about and what I focus on. I love family, and I want to see our men in position where they can really help guide when it comes to our youth and catching our youth at an earlier age, so we can mold them. So I'm in a lot of grammar schools.
So let me ask you a question. Were both of you all raised with your fathers in the home?
Yeah, so my biological father, I was raised with. He grew up out of B. Wells, born and raised on the South Side, graduated from Phillips High School. But he was 19 years old. My mom was 15 when I was conceived. So they were both teenagers, similar to your story, Pastor. And so my father, at a young age, he tried to do the best that he could. But through the traps of what we saw earlier on, that relationship kind of dissolved itself when he got incarcerated when I was in high school, lived with a family friend. And I became a ward of the court at the age of 17. And that's when I met a mentor.
Come on.
This is why this is really powerful. So young men may not have that family support, but this is where mentors, coaches, teachers, pastors, leaders have to step up. And like you talked about how your mentor cuffed you. My mentor cuffed me. He didn't talk to me. He didn't do all this because he had to show me, because you got to understand, I lost my mom when I was 14. My mom was only 29 when she died here on the South Side of Chicago.
Wow.
So you're talking about overcoming some obstacles. I know about obstacles. And so that's why I have a real empathy and passion for what I do, because I know firsthand the impact that a mentor can make on a young person, because he made it on my life.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't just say, hey, I want you to go to school. I want you to do this. I want you to stop doing this. He actually showed me. So my first flight on the plane was because a mentor at the age of 17 exposed me beyond my environment and my community.
What about you, Joseph?
Yeah, so me, I'm kind of the opposite. I didn't have the opportunity to really have my father involved like that. He was pretty much, to be quite honest, a drug addict, and my mother raised me and my younger brother by herself. So back in the day, I didn't get why my mom was so hard on me. But when I say I understood it so much when I got older, but mainly just my mom trying to raise 2 men, really. And I didn't have the opportunity to have that guidance, and that's the main reason why I'm so involved in my children's lives. That's the main reason why once I realized my children got a lot of their dad in their life, I want to spread the love and do it for other children who may not have a father there. That's why I just understand it, because not having that male model, you can simply go down the wrong road if you don't have anyone to tell you, or somebody to say just don't do it, or just have somebody to just care about you. So I learned a lot of the stuff through personal experience, but through my personal experience, I use that to build myself and to be better for other people, so other people don't have to go through what I went through.
All right. So let me ask you a question. My father wasn't in my life. My father was a gangbanger, a drug dealer, and a murderer. I had a mother that was amazing. I had a stepfather that I didn't get along with. But as I said, it took another person. My mentor came from the church, and he was the one that made sure that he grabbed me and made sure that I got out, made sure that I went to school and all of those things. Let's just talk about the present temperature. Joseph, you shut the game down on Monday. And I love passion. I love when people are passionate about anything. And I would say to you, more than hearing your words, I saw your heart. I saw your heart. I saw your frustration. I saw your anger. And I also saw you not make excuses for anybody. That if anybody was wrong, you put it on the table. What would you say the temperature of this generation is right now?
This generation, what we're looking at is a generation that don't want to take no stuff. You would think they've been around forever, but they're tired. People want to be heard. People want to see change. They don't want to talk about it anymore. But that's why the young people need the guidance, because they got the fire, but they need to have the individuals to guide them so they don't end up in situations that they can't get out of. But this generation is definitely about the business. They about moving and moving fast, and they gonna need a little support on that journey. So what I didn't have, I want to make sure I can give to them, so as they move fast, they understand how they should move a little bit better.
All right, Vande, what do you say?
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think with the guidance and the mentorship, it's important that we find new leaders with different voices that's not coming from the church. They wasn't raised by two parents, and they in the hood trying to survive. Because you got to understand, once gentrification tore down our projects, individual families began to move and scatter all throughout the city. So we lost a lot of collective group power, right? So you got individuals trying to come up. And so what we're trying to teach is it's cool for you to individually become successful, but we still have to understand the power of unity and brotherhood. And I think we've lost that with this generation. So to really pull in these voices where one person want to do this, one person want to do that. So it's hard for them to come under and understand the power of mentorship, because everything is so instant. It's so fast. So if it's not happening fast, mentor is the long game, right? Everything is not going to happen overnight, but I'll walk with you through the process. But a lot of people don't want the process. They want it now, because idiot is so instant. Everything is flying so fast. And a minute ago is old. It's what's new. It's what's on my timeline in that moment. And so I think we have to do a much better job with teaching principles and processes. So for the long game, we can have a sustainable community.
All right. Let's talk about Monday when everybody woke up. When everybody woke up Monday, everybody was like, oh my God. Now, I really want Joseph to talk, because everybody tried to point that to an incident in Inglewood. Everybody, and even today on the news, they tried to point that situation to an incident in Inglewood, and you basically explained the entire situation because you were there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And man, like I said, I just spoke from the heart based on me being there and just speaking right then and there, because I stayed to the very end and tell you, never take anything for granted, because some people rush for news and for what they already recognize. And this gentleman, Vashawn, was just a freelancer who said, hey, can you just tell me what happened? And I just told him what happened from the heart, and told him, and he ended up putting a video on Twitter. So for me waking up the next day, I was waking up the next day to a whole lot of media calls, and I'm like, I'm gonna go back to sleep, because what's going on here? They're like, you got a video going viral on Twitter. I don't even have a Twitter account, but I finally got access to it, and I got a chance to look at it. I'm like, that's me right there talking. But it was real, and it really.
Man, we lost them. You're coming back. We lost him. He'll come back. All right. How did you feel, Vondell, when you woke up Monday and you saw everything going on? What went through your head?
I was like, what in the what? Right? Like it was just, and so for me, it's just so many layers, right? Because I work so closely in the education field every day, nonstop with youth all the time. Even through the pandemic, I'm still highly engaged with listening, supporting, and really always say I'm a co-expert, right? Like I learn from them, they learn from me, we learn from each other. And so, just to kind of see everything that happened and then going back to where Joseph just left off and, sharing like, hey, man, this is what really went down. So the misinformation or miscommunication that got out there, it was another opportunity for individuals to express themselves. And how they decided to express themselves in that moment, we were seeing, okay, here are the symptoms again of some issues that have gone unresolved for a long time. There we go. There we go.
Absolutely. And I'm hearing you while I'm in the back room, Vondell, and absolutely, I agree with everything you're saying. You're talking about systematic issues. And, I did an interview with WGN9, and they say, well, what about downtown? I say the perception of what people think about the police doesn't change. You have to go back and look at the roots. You have to look at the relationships within the community and what people face every single day with the police. So no matter if you're downtown or wherever you at, the thought process doesn't really change about how you feel about the police. But I will say, the event that happened Sunday, I felt blessed to be able to come out and to be a part of it and to be able to be a mediator to help die down the conflict because it could have been way worse. And once they saw my live, other organizers came out there, and I just feel blessed that we were there to protect our community and we were there to help save lives. Really, you had children and women out there, right there in the middle of the street and on the front line, while continuous stampede of police rushing to the crowd. And we got to be able to just kind of protect our community, but also teach them how to organize, right? When organizers came, we were able to lock arms and build our own walls so the community stand behind us and they don't come in front of us so the police can get a hold to them and the police don't come past us, instead of just being scattered in the middle of the streets and one person talking crazy, then the police rush that person and now everybody rushing in, it's continuing to be a mess. So just teaching the community and organizing and doing it together. I'm just, again, blessed to being able to run out my door and be there to be part of the change and to help bring solution and to give the community those notes and let them know what was going on because they didn't know. And emotions are up high. And you're going to be the police department or community engagement. If you're going to come in, at least have the respect level enough to understand that and not come in and just try to continue to beat up on the community. Let them know what's going on. And I'm recommending that the mayor's office possibly create something that's like a fact checker, whereas instead of misinformation coming out in the very beginning, you actually have something that's created that's putting out the facts in real time. So people can go right on there and see what's happening. You don't got to assume. You ain't got to put the wrong information up. You can go and see what's happening because misinformation played a major role with that as well.
All right. So let me ask you this, because one of the things that I asked yesterday is, who does this generation listen to? Like, I'm 57, so let me just talk as an older. I'm 56. Let me talk as an older person. Let me tell you what I see, and this is how most people. We are Martin Luther King's kids. These are Malcolm X grandkids. I'm just gonna tell you the truth. We from Martin Luther King. These are Malcolm X people out here. So we get a little confused when we see this, and it's not that we're removed from it. It's just different from what we were raised. I mean, our parents, we couldn't bring anything in the house. If our parents didn't buy it, you can't bring it up in here. So we know that these kids are looting. Where they taking it? They taking it home. Unheard of. We would never go toe to toe with the police but then the police presented themselves different. We were growing up. We had what they call officer friendly that would come to the school, introduce themselves. It was a different ball game. Teachers could get us. Teachers could whoop us. Teachers could snatch us. This is a generation, they cuss the teacher out, and then the mama and them come up to the school and beat the teacher down. So we're looking at a whole nother world that we are like in awe, and we don't know what to think because this is not us. Can I be honest with you? I sat there as a black man, only worried about what they gonna say about us. As a black man, because they taught us, I went to a black college, they taught us black pride. Watch every move you make, because every move you make is going to represent your race. So I'm confused. Who does this generation listen to? And I'm gonna tell you why I'm asking this, Joseph, because I wanted to do get 1,000 young people on the Zoom just to talk their language. I don't care if they cuss, I don't care what, but I need somebody that can get their ear, and then I could point them in you all's direction that you could mentor them and keep up with them. Who do they listen to?
No, absolutely. I think that's a great question. At this point, you know, a lot of our youth, because they don't have the guidance, they don't feel like they have to listen to anyone. They don't think authority is really even there. But a lot of it comes from a lot of the hurt. And that's why I try to focus so much on the social emotional. But I also try to tap in and understand, what do our children and youth love? Maybe just about a month and a half ago, I was able to get 500 youth to come out. And they came out. Why? Because they wanted to dance. Now, who would have knew that this many youth would have came out because they wanted to dance? But they had every dance team, and we marched right down Racine and Inglewood, all the way up to where Father Fager was almost, and we marched all the way down that street. And I never seen so much joy and excitement on these children, just faces, and just the glow, and understand that whatever I said, I had their attention because I was giving them something they wanted to do. So I think also identifying what do they want, just being able to be an open ear. A lot of people talk to, and continue to just, but nobody's really listening. And I think that's the biggest key. If we can listen to what they're saying, we might even have a chance with the new generation of really, really helping them build a great future to come. But we have to be willing to listen, and be willing to teach them if they're wrong, but not continue to go against them because of their age, not to continue to
I agree with
not
that.
ideas.
I, Vondale, who do you say they listen to?
So the modern day prophet are the entertainers of today's generation. Athletes, entertainers, those are the voices that they listen to, the G Herbo. So I found out they love G Herbo. Guess what? He came into the champs conference and talked to the young men and told them, hey, I'm just like, but you should have saw their reaction, because I couldn't advertise that he was coming, because his following is a very large following here in Chicago. So we surprised the young people and said, hey, this is who y'all wanted to speak to y'all. He here, right? And we talked in the background. And I'm like, man, just give him your heart. Talk to him. Because I said, do you know the power of your words, your influence? You got millions and millions of young people listening to your music. They eating out your hands. So whatever. And I said, do you know the power? He said, I'm learning the power of my voice. And he said, as I've gotten older and I have a son, I'm starting to understand the power of responsibility with that. However, my thing is, the weight shouldn't just be on the entertainers and actors. We got people in the community with stories to tell, right? And I think, like, too often we find so many people reluctant to mentor because, like, hey, man, I don't have my stuff together. You know, I can't get out there and mentor because I got this, that, and the other going on. But man, I'm telling everybody right now, if you're watching this live, we need all hands on deck. We need everybody to play a role in this situation, because here's the thing. And until it hits your house, right, which we don't want to happen, that's when everybody want to stop. Pray for me, pray for my family. But look, we trying to stop it now. So we calling everybody out here, right? Your small part, your big part, your money, no money, rich, poor, black, white, Protestant, Catholic, I don't care what you are. We need you to take a role actively and engage with what's going on. But so many people are so quick to get on Facebook and social media and complain about things, and it drives me up the wall. So I'm making a call to action for individuals. Whatever you have to offer, let's go ahead, all hands on deck, and let's get involved.
So Joseph, who do you say they listen to? I got that one rapper. Who do you say? Because, bro, let me tell you. Now, this is my age. I need y'all to give me room for my age. And if I'm wrong, I need you to educate me.
Okay.
This is what I see. When they listen to their music push drugs, their music push sex, their music push fashions, their music push violence, and all of that is all they go after. So when I saw the looting, they hit all the name brand stores that those rappers talk about. They hit the liquor store. They went to one liquor store and got them $1,000 bottles, the jewelry, the violence. Who do they listen to, bro? Because somebody has to say to them, this is not the real world. Who is that person?
You know what? I'll be honest. I hope one day for that person to possibly be me when I can tap in with our youth. I hope for it to be Vondell. I hope for it to continue to be the men that are already stepping up to the plate and also the men to come. I hope that we can possibly one day be that voice for our youth. But right now, I can honestly just say that they really need guidance. And I agree with Vondell when he talks about the entertainment world. And I agree with you, Pastor Hannah. I mean, absolutely. This is what they look at. Like, my son know what a Lamborghini is, and I don't even know how. But like, so that tells me he's looking at something on YouTube or something, right? So the between TV and the music, absolutely, it makes them feel like they don't have anything to live for, and they are just here temporarily, and they are just living in the moment. And some of these children don't even think they'll make it to be 18 sometimes. So we have to change the thought process. I urge that we continue to teach our history in schools. Our children really need to know where they come from because that's the only way they're going to know where they're going. Without the history, I love history. Part reason why I am is because of the stories I heard back in the day. Like before I ran for public office, I literally went to Atlanta with my family to see Dr. King because it meant just that much to me before I ran to go down there and to pay my respect. So like the history piece, if they just really knew what our people went through to put them in a position that they are in now, it would help. It's a lot of factors, but we got to be able to educate and train our parents. Our parents are younger and younger. Give them what they need on the resources, but make sure that they're being trained as well. Some people don't come out just knowing how to be a mom or knowing how to be a dad. So we have to elevate those resources to a higher level and making sure that we're really there to support our parents and making sure that we're not complaining about the back end of them being young and having their children, but how do we tap in with their young parents so they know the right thing to do when it's the right thing?
All right. So this is what I want to do. I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna figure out how to get 2 or 3 of these guys that they listen to. I've already started some conversations with some record label people. But after I let them talk, I'm gonna point them to y'all. And my goal is I'm gonna let them talk, but I gotta get them to say, okay, guys, for real, this gotta stop. The killing, the looting, and the disrespecting of your people. It has to stop. Because every move that you make is a reflection of your people. And too many of our people gave up their life for us to live. This ain't good, bro. All right. So what do you think about that? Joseph and Vonda, what do you think?
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you. You know, like I said yesterday, you know, we have some relationships with a few of these individuals. I think I sent you about 10 names, right? I'm not going to go through that list, but the bottom line, we know in our communities, the voices that reign supreme, you know, and unfortunately, a lot of our young people, they don't have relationships with these voices on TV, these YouTubers and these entertainers and athletes.
But these Chicago rappers is an underground, it's an underground world that my generation. Now this is me. I'm out here now. What's the rapper that just got killed? What's his name?
FBG Duck.
Duck.
Yes.
I didn't know Duck. But when they went down on Oak Street and did that, and then I saw the reaction, I went and did my homework on Duck. That's a Chicago born and raised. And most people didn't know him. You go on YouTube, he got 5 million, 6 million views. Then when I listened to his music, I was like, this is the world that the average person know nothing of. How do we? Because
I'm kind of out of touch with the music too. I play V103 all day and stuff like that.
Joseph, then you over here with me.
Old school. Lenny Williams. I'm like I love the old school. But what I would say is that I know, like, because I have teenagers as well, this 13 and 14, and even my oldest daughters, they like a guy named Lil Baby or something, right? But and he's real popular right now. Whoever this Lil Baby young man is. But you're absolutely right. It's a few of them and I ask them for sure, Pastor, and I'll turn over a list to you as well. But I think that's an amazing idea.
I'll let them talk, but I need them to say this has to stop. And then after they say that, then I need to point them in you all's direction and get them, because I have a mother that called me, and I want y'all to address this. What do you say to single mothers raising boys? Because if I would be honest with you, can I be honest what I see sometimes? I see us raise our daughters, but spoil our sons. I see them raise their daughters to be independent. You better get a job because you don't want no man taking care of you. Da, da, da. But then I see mothers break their back to get their son's shoes, and then that boy begin to believe that if he just sleep with a woman, that woman gonna do what his mama did.
That's deep. That's deep, but that's real.
Oh, so what do you say to these single women that are raising boys? Because I'm seeing some monsters be created.
Yeah, I think it's a generational like breakdown, right? So you're talking about primarily, not all, 70 to 80% of our young men in our communities are raised without a father in the house. So you have that dynamic going on. So the question is, who's raising that young man? Mom get to a place where when I have conversations with mothers about their sons, hey, Singleton, I had a beautiful relationship with Joseph, right? But then when Joseph hit 13, he don't want to have anything to do with me, and I can't tell him anything. Now he taller than me, and he looked down on me if I ask him to do something. So it's this whole like generational gap. So the community, the streets, the TVs, the entertainment are raising our boys. And so when they get to us, it's a lot of communications and conversations that we have to have. And most of them, it takes a while for them to want to open up and talk about the need of having another man raise them. And so for me, I think like getting back to full circle, the healing process, the communication process, the conversations on both sides. I believe in therapy. I believe in group therapy. I believe in family therapy. I believe in narrative therapy. I believe it works, but really getting past the stigma of ensuring that it's okay for us to sit down and process all of these layers. And so I just think it's so many different layers.
I want you guys to answer this though. And I want him to come on here. He's an amazing thing with his program, Darius Ballinger. He said they can't rap about trap and then get online and talk nonviolence because then they're gonna seem like hypocrites. Is that true?
Yeah, I think Darius got a point. But at the same time, here's the thing. We need all hands on deck at this particular point. We can't throw anybody away. So for instance, and I'll just use this because this happened. When I had a conversation with G Herbo backstage, I said, you don't need to get on stage. We don't want to hear you rap, but we do want to hear you talk, right? And he was able to get on there and said, look, and he wasn't like, hey, I'm an angel now. He got on stage and talked like, hey, I grew up over East. Most of y'all heard my music. Y'all know what I've been through. But let me talk to y'all. Like, figure out what you want to do with your life. And it was very, very powerful, but it was relatable. So much so that the young people was like, hey, who else can you get in here similar to him that can relate and talk to us? We know you cool, Singleton, but there's still a degree that I don't know, right? And so I think, yes, they do have messages that are not in alignment to what we believe and what we value and what we think are right. But I do believe that they have a message if people like us talk to these individuals and say, man, talk to them, because it's different parts to individuals. That's just not all his life. It's just what he raps about. He's trying, like he told me, he said, I'm trying to be a better father. I got a son now that I have to look after. And the things that I was doing back then, I'm starting to understand the business side of and responsibility. So
the young man, Doug got 4 kids. Doug had 4 kids out here. So, all right, Joseph, what do you say to these single mothers?
Man, honestly, I think Vondell summed it up for you, Pastor. And the only thing I would add to it is that in the conditions that we're growing up in, try your best to communicate with your young sons, because a lot of women sometimes think because they are the men, because they are raising them by themselves, they have to be really hard on them and they have to like really chastise them. And sometimes that makes them grow to go the opposite way when you get chastised so much and you get hit and cursed out because they feel like you the man of the house and you can take it. So make sure that we're just more aware of how we're talking and treating our youth as we bring them up, as well as parents, because it lasts with them. And whatever they're missing, they're going to find it outside in the streets.
That's good. Yep.
All right. I'm just going to list a couple of things, and I want you to tell me your views and what we need to do about it. What do we need to do about the drugs in our community and our kids that are popping pills and smoking blunts and chewables, and they ended up with mental breakdown? What do you say about that?
I would say this. I've been firsthand in the ambulance truck with a few young people. I'm not going to, of course, mention, but it was one of the scariest things I've been a part of, because they put something in their body that they had no business putting in their body, but because it was the trend, it was cool to do. And one of the young men said, well, I was just trying it out because everybody else was doing it. So again, you have this lack of leadership, a place where young people needed to be guided and supported and mentored and coached. And there was a gap there where he was introduced to an edible, tried it, ended up in the hospital, almost lost his life. I watched the paramedics try to get his heartbeat back to normal, and it took literally hours and hours. And I stayed back there until his mom came. But the bottom line is man, it's so much happening so fast with this generation. But I also believe, and I want to be very clear about this, I still have hope. I still have faith. I still believe. I'm still passionate every single day, because I could have easily been, the young man on the other side. But had not a mentor stepped in my life, I wouldn't know what to do, or, how to interact with young people. And so, I always go back to my 17-year-old self and try my best to understand how can individuals do things that to us as adults don't seem wise or smart. But we got to remember we were teenagers too at some point.
Right.
That's where I'm kind of going back.
I smoked when I was a teenager.
Yeah, and going back to
we out here right now.
But who was there to cuff us? Who was there to lead us, to speak, to encourage us, to guide us? It was that coach, that mentor, that teacher. Right. And so I think, like, these things that they face, man, and dealing with these edibles, the mollies, the lean, whatever they have going into the system, it's all new. So they don't understand the power of it until something happens and we in a life or death situation.
All right, you guys keep saying that everybody got to step up. Each of you give me something that you say, this is what I need you to do. If I say, well, how can I help you? Tell me how I can help you. Joseph. Is he frozen? You there?
Okay, I think sorry about these technical difficulties, but yeah, I'm here.
If someone would ask Joseph, how can I help you? How can they help you?
Pastor.
Huh?
I'm sorry. No. I said people always seem to call when you're on live. I don't know why they do that.
It's because you're blowing up.
Yeah, okay.
So, bro, if someone wants to say, Joseph, how can I help you? How can they help you?
Absolutely. You can visit our website at MrDadsFathersClub.com. Please donate. We're working on a community garden right now, where I just got a garden out in Roseland on 121st and Halsted. And this is going to give the opportunity. I'm going to put a stage out there and make a mini theater where children will be able to come and watch shows, look at puppet shows, come see me or some other fathers read books. You'll be able to grab books off a bookshelf and have family time in the garden and read books. You'll get to learn about healthy eating. Also, we're working on a community center to provide more services for our fathers, because we know not all fathers are in a position they want to be in. So we want to help support them, help get them the IDs and birth certificates, help them be a better father as well. So definitely Mr. Dad's Fathers Club at Facebook, at Instagram, or MrDadsFathersClub.com for our website. And I'm Joseph Williams.
All right. Vandia, if someone said, how can I help you? How can they help you?
Thanks, Joseph, for sharing that. So same blueprint that Joseph used in terms of following us at champsmentoring.com. We are open for the fall. We're planning all August to get ready for synchronous learning and synchronous learning in terms of virtual. But we need men 18 and over to become mentors. We're always looking. And again, for me, like we take in all stories. If you have a story to tell, if you have a contribution to make, go ahead and fill out the online application. We have filled it and follow up with you. And then secondly, we getting ready for, figuring out how do we continue weekly in-person interactions following social distancing. That's very important. So we do our circles where we practice yoga, breathing techniques. We ask the simple question, how you feeling today? How you doing? And give them the space to talk.
Let me talk to my tech guy, Mitch. I don't know if you can hear me. Can we figure out a way how to put their websites up on the page? Joseph, can you give me your website again?
It's Mr. Dad's Fathers Club.com.
Mr. Dad's Fathers Club.com.
Yes. And I can just add one piece. Catch us every Friday at noon, Facebook Live on our Facebook page, because we read books every noon on Friday. We read books. My children is the audience. Babies through the wardrobe and camera setup. But it's an amazing show, and I want all children and families to tune in. They calling me the Black Mr. Rogers.
Love it.
All right, Mr. Dad's Fathers Club.com. Vandale, give us your website again.
It's www.champsmentoring.com, and follow us at all social media at Champs Mentoring.
All right, so guys, I wanted you guys here. I'm going to be reaching out to both of you all to figure out how to do this Zoom. The goal is to get 1,000 young men and young women on that Zoom with their voices that they would listen to, but then I'm going to point them to you all. My goal is to point them in the direction of people who can cuff them and help them. I would say to both of you all, and I'm saying this, I will make sure that my church send each of you $1,000 towards your organization to help you do what you're supposed to do.
Praise God.
I'm one of these people. I can't do everything, but I can do something. I believe in you. And if anything I say to you is, please be not weary in well-doing. You're going to change some lives. You are changing some lives. And one of the things that's most powerful is that you guys are both present in your kids' lives.
Yeah.
You guys are both present in your kids' lives. And there are a lot of young men out here, you're showing them how to be a father. You're showing them how to be a husband. You're showing them how to be a man of character and integrity. So their websites are on the screen. Guys, if you look at it, even if some of y'all go by there and just give them each $5, $10, $20, sow something into their organization, because these are some brothers that are doing it. We can't sit up and say, well, our black men aren't doing anything. That's a lie. I bring you proof. I bring you proof right here that our black men are doing some amazing things. I'm going to bring some women on here who are doing some things with our young ladies, because I think that we got to find our, find our huddles.
Yeah.
In our community and point our kids in that direction. So allow me to pray for both of you all. And I beg you, stay on the battlefield. I beg you, stay on the battlefield. And I know that it becomes frustrating, but I'm begging you all, keep doing what you. Now, people want to know, do y'all have a cash app? Can they cash app you?
Yeah, Champs Mentoring.
Is it a money sign or is it just?
Yeah, money sign, Champs Mentoring.
Okay, there's a money sign for Champs with an S on the end, mentoring. And then Joseph, what's your cash app?
It's the money sign in the beginning, J Williams 5, and it connects to the Mr. Dad's.
All right, J Williams 5, the money sign, and J Williams 5. All right, I just want to pray for you guys, and there they go. Look at my team. We're doing it. All right, for everyone that is watching, if you sent them just anything, whatever you can send them, If it's $5, if it's 10, if it's 20, if it's 100, however God has blessed you, then you be a blessing. And I want you all to make their phones pop tonight. Make their phones be ringing all night. I will personally send something personally from me, and then my church will then send you guys each $1,000 checks for your organization. And I just beg you. Now you're going to hear from me soon because I'm going to line up about 3 artists, and then we're going to all go live and get the word out on the street to get 1,000 kids on the Zoom. And then I'm going to point these kids in y'all direction.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let me just pray for you guys. So God, I cover Joseph and I cover Vandale. I pray for their organizations. I pray, God, that you would give them the circle that they need to do what needs to be done. I pray, God, that you would make their voices loud in our community. God, let them keep their passion. Let them continue to be impactful to change the lives of our children. We thank you for what we're going to do together. Bless their going out and their coming in. Bless their families. Bless them as husbands. Bless them as fathers. And bless them as mentors. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
My brothers, I appreciate you. Don't stop doing what you're doing, for real. All right?
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, bless you guys. All right, guys, there we go. I did my... So that's what I want to do. Next Tuesday, I'm going to bring someone else. I'm going to get some ladies. There's a girl at my church, Jamila Trimio, who has an amazing young lady program, who's doing some amazing things. You heard me say the young man's name on here, Darius Ballinger. You will eventually hear from Darius. His story, his testimony is amazing. And all we want to do is encourage those that are doing it. The church can do its part. They can do their part, but we all can do something. I appreciate you. If you don't mind, can you send them something tonight? Can you send them something tonight? You got their Cash App. You have their websites. Send them something and encourage them. And everybody share this on your page. This is what we need to be spreading. This is the kind of information that we need to put out there, and keep those young men in your prayers. All right? God bless you. Love you.